digest. From lane to the new shining ground, echo chants where the legends are found. Heroes carved in the heart of time, we march on through grit and grime. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Echoes of King and Greaves in the air. Every goal, the sound declares. Heartbeats pound like a drummer's song, marching forward fierce and strong. We're the ones who rise in the clash, numbers running in a white shirt dash. History burns in the roaring crowd, every game we scream it loud. I'm Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. We're the ones who rise in the clash, numbers running in a white shirt dash. History burns in the roaring crowd, every game we scream it loud. I'm Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire.
Hi guys and welcome to THFC Till I Die, your home Tottenham past present and an exciting future under Thomas Frank as he gears us to glory under the masteress of him and what he will do for the mighty Spurs. And joining me tonight, this man needs no introduction the world over. He is Simon Jordan. He used to own a football club, not Crystal Palace, but the little one called Luton Town. And he is as well a very good manager as well, because he took was
St.
it
Mirren.
Motherwell,
St. Mirren.
St. Mirren to European glory. But
did.
of course we all know him as Tequila 316 Tequila. How are you doing this evening, sir?
I'm okay, Demo. How are you? Been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, I know shows have been a little bit infrequent, guys. So we do apologize, but I will be back Friday with the member shows and we will be back to normal. I'm back home next Wednesday, so I will be back to doing my normal stuff. So I am still house sitting at the moment, but I do apologize. And it's not fair. And you guys have been very patient as well. So thank you all very much for that, for the likes and subscribe. We're nearly at 2,190, so we're very close to 2,200. So I would love to get there before the end of the weekend. Tequila, I want to start something on the news we got on Sunday. Was the passing of Ricky Hatton, fabulous British boxer, world title, I think at welterweight, fought the big names as well, but did suffer with his mental health like we all do. But it is important that men talk, isn't it? It's important that if we've got a problem, we should talk it out instead of bottling up, which us men do, don't we? We do bottle an awful lot up and we feel we're not allowed to talk. But I think it's important that we do talk, isn't it? Really, to be fair.
Yeah, I think it is a bit of a dying trend, mate. I think like mental health awareness is much greater. Not for Ricky Hatton, bless him, because he grew up exactly the same age I was. And when we were growing up, and Derma, you're only a couple of years older. It wasn't prevalent when we were growing up.
No, it wasn't.
But nowadays, I am happy to say that it is much more acceptable, and the stigma of men talking is not. I'm not saying it's not there. It still is, but it's not as bad as it once was. Because if you talked about stuff like that, you were seen as weak, you were seen as a beta male, you were seen as vulnerable, and us blokes, right, us tough guy blokes, we're not allowed to be seen as vulnerable. I'm happy to say that I think that's much less so nowadays, and hopefully that trend continues. So that, like I say, unfortunately, it's not going to help guys who grew up that way, like myself, like Ricky Hatton, and people of that age. Unfortunately, it's going to be difficult for us to ever be like that, really. But for kids growing up nowadays, I'm happy to say that I think it's much more it's more accepted.
It is more accepted. And look, our condolences go out to Ricky Hatton and his family and everyone connected to him. An absolute legend of the sport. And can I just say how good it was that Man City, he was a big Man City fan, recognised that before the Manchester derby on Sunday as well. And both sets of fans really recognised it really well. So fair play to them as well. Quickly on football matters before we get into the topic tonight, Tequila. VAR. We had the goal that should have been scored on Saturday against West Ham. Last night, on Tuesday night, I think VAR, there was a couple of decisions should have gone our way. The one on Saturday, we should have had a penalty and we should have had a goal.
Yeah.
Is VAR sort of coming out of its existence now? Do you think it needs scrapping? Or you look at Europe, it works fine in Europe. How come it can't work fine in the Premier League? I think I don't know why it's not working, because it's the game too fast here. Is it the people that are running it? What's your thoughts on it?
I think it's the people who are running it. With all due respect, I think once again a lot of it is coming down to human error. So even though we've obviously got this technology, it's still mostly being run by humans, and bless them, humans make mistakes.
Yeah,
they're making more than they should. I don't think we can argue with that. I've always said, as long as it remains consistent. Do I like it? No, of course. But throughout this season, we will be on the other end of one of these VARs where we'll get lucky and we shouldn't have. Do you get my drift?
Well, I think we've been I think Saturday we're on the wrong side of it, to be fair.
Yeah, but I mean, it will. But my point is that as long as it evens itself out throughout the course of the season, then I accept that it is a part. It doesn't matter if I like it or not, but I accept it is a part. As long as they're consistent with it. Like if it ends up being that we keep on getting the bad roles, so to speak, and we never get the kind of the other side of it, then then I'd be a little bit more weary. But
look, if you look at it that way, Tequila, right? You say it works itself out at the end of the season,
hopefully.
But I mean, the whole thing of that Tottenham goal at West Ham, you have to be blind or stupid not to give the goal. And are we getting to a point where actually, I hate to say it, and I don't like saying his name, but he did say it last year, the Australian who used to manage us, so we'll name him. He said the games are being run by Stockley Park. Do you agree with that? Do you think the games are being run by Stockley Park here? Because I think they are. That game at West Ham, that referee Gillette was being told what to do, how to do, and when to do it. I don't
know how much control they've got. They're going to be whispering in his ears, but you got to remember these refs. They can't be too what's the word I'm looking for? Rebellious, because they will be fired as well. They're meant to be based on performance as well. They're meant to be on performance related, like any job.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong, but it's just like
I get you.
No matter the technology that's come in, there's the argument about refs. No matter the tools that the refs has, until it's taken out of their hands completely, we will always be talking about this. This is why I'm not dismissing the conversation, but this is why I'm okay with it, because it will never be proper, so to speak, as long as it's consistent. My worry is that it's not consistent. Once I feel like it's not consistent, then I'll have an issue. Yeah. As it is, I have to accept, and I think we all do, whether we like it or not, that it's a part of the game. Should it really be this way? No. But you tell me a time when we haven't been complaining about refs, no matter what tools they had for them job, and we can go back 50 years, It's always been a bane of contention. Always, Dermo. It's part of the game.
It is. I can accept, like back in the day when we were younger, right? And probably David Clark in the chat and people older than us, that refs will make mistakes, but it was part of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's clear and obvious that the West Ham player went down feigning an injury to begin with, got up, pushed Van de Ven in the back, he then fell into the player that was Kyle Walker-Peters, who was Marco Romero. That led to his open goal. That led for him being free and head the ball in. And then with the penalty, I mean, if you did that in WWE, I think that would be, everyone would be applauded him for a great, wrestling move. So look, I just don't get it. I really don't. And what's really bugging me at the moment is these players, Tequila, going down like a sack of potatoes. I said it Tuesday night. I was watching Villarreal and the players were just falling all over the place. One fella went down. I think it was Xavi tackled him and he went down clutching his face and his arm was never near his face. If that was a GAA player over here in Ireland, right, and they did that, they wouldn't show their face for the next month. Or if that was a rugby player.
Yeah, but that's more or less most leagues in the world. You have to go back a number of years, Dermo, and I hate to say it, but I think you'll agree with me. When the league was mostly full of British players, we're going back 30 years, when it was mostly full of British players, it wasn't generally a part of the game. Maybe the occasional one or two, but whether you like it or not, foreign influences made it part of the game. This is just the truth. I'm not being any kind of racist or any kind of anything like that. It's a part of the game now because now we've got players from so many countries now, and whether we like it or not, it's infested English football. And I have to say that some of the English players do it as well now. That wasn't the case, but it's one of those things where they obviously feel they've got to fight fire with fire. See what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
If everyone else is doing it, then it's just like, well, okay, well then I'll do it too. I'll do it too then.
I mean, look, you look at Sterling. He's the biggest diver out of the lot of them, to be fair. And there's a few other players as well. But look, do you know what? I just ready. And then referees are supposed to stamp this out. But if a player dives, then book the fucker. Make an example of him. Do you know? And that's really gets my goat. Another bit in news, of course, Daniel Levy left and the Lewis family are now in situ. They were there at the game at West Ham. Viv and her brother, her brother-in-law, I think, was at the game last night, or her son was at the game last night with Vivian Lewis.
I love the fact you called her Viv. So you're on Demo's on first name basis with her. So whenever you want any information, we'll just ask him. Yeah,
we'll go me and Viv. Me and Viv and Vinay. And Vinny. Look, I said I've got this thing that we have to wait and see how they are doing, but they did put out a statement last night within the Tottenham program, and it's about the Lewis family wants the right optics after Danny Levy's ousted him, and it's basically about what they're going to do. They're more focusing on the field stuff than off the field stuff. As somebody that wanted Levy out, and I think Enoch out as well, Tequila, and I think we'll both agree that Enoch have to prove themselves, to be fair. Where are you on this? Because I'm looking at it thinking, well, was it them telling Daniel Levy to do what he's done, or did Daniel Levy take that upon himself with him and Oman Lewis? And then are we unfair then to tar Vivian Lewis and her brother and her brother-in-law with the same brush? Maybe they're different. How long are you going to give them? I'm giving them to probably next summer, but how long are you going to give them?
What they've done, I think, I'm going to use a wrestling. I know you're not a big wrestling fan, but I'll use a wrestling term to anyone who I know won't want to watch it. What they're doing, they're baby facing themselves, which means they're making themselves look good at the expense of Levy. I've got no love for Levy. They can do what they want. Doesn't bother me. But talk is cheap, Dermo. Really, they need to back it up. They can say whatever they want, and they can promise the world, the moon, and the stars, and we'll want to believe them because we don't. even though I'm deemed negative, even I would like to believe them. Do I believe them? No, I'm cynical, but that I want to believe them. And all the fans want to believe them. But I think you're very smart, Dermot, to wait. I think initially you said January, and I said to you, I think that's not long enough. I think maybe even next summer's not long enough. I'm looking maybe a couple of years. I think next summer will give it an indication of our, and a lot is good. I don't expect them to throw that much more money on it, right? I don't.
Yeah.
I expect them, however, to not be as tight on the wages and to buy quality players rather than this quantity stuff. And we saw maybe the first inklings of that at the end of the last window, because we did get 2 players I would call first quality signings.
Yeah.
So we got Simmons and we got Kudos. Paulinho was alone. That's different, right? But those 2 were the 2 ones for me, which go right into our first team. And two very highly rated young players, which have made our team better, make no mistake. If that continues next year, if we bring in 2 or 3 next year of a similar ilk, then I'll start to believe. And then we'll see the year after that, because even if we do this time next year, if you've got 2 or 3 more players, we're still not going to be title challengers. It will take much more than that. But if we sign 2 or 3 more players, we can hold on to the majority of our current team. And we sign 2 or 3 more players, get rid of some of the lesser players, in my opinion, like Richarlison, stuff like that. Then we can maybe push for a top 4 next year. And then the year after that, this is what I mean. Then you can start being a bit like, okay, so are you now going to do the thing that Levy never did, and that's pushing us from a top 4 to the next level?
Yeah.
Are they? And that'll be when you get your answer, Dermo. When we're at that, we're not at that stage yet, because we're 2 or 3 seasons behind that. But if we get to that point again, if we don't push like Levy refused to do, then you'll have your answer.
Am I being cynical thinking they would? Am I being cynical here saying with Harry Kane that the Tottenham can have an option on them for next summer? Could you see them bringing Harry Kane back? I mean,
yeah, I think that's a great idea, because even though, say what you want about Kane, he's never relied on his pace.
No,
it doesn't matter if he loses an inch of pace. He's got his, like Teddy Sheringham used to have, Dermo. He's got the first 2 yards in his head, right?
Yeah,
he won't lose that. So having Kane back, I think, would be a great move. People say move on from Kane. Look, Kane really, the word generational talent gets thrown about way too much. Kane really is. He actually is.
He is. I mean, Philip Brady calls him the heir to Jimmy Greaves' crown, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he is our club record goal scorer, by the way. And I use him a lot more of him because he plays for England. I saw him last night for Bayern Munich. I was switching between the 2 games, between the 2 Champions League games last night. I thought Harry Kane played very well last night, actually. I thought he did score 2 good goals, actually. Though I was watching the Atletico Liverpool game, and that Simeone, their Atletico Madrid's manager, he's a fucking head case.
I know. People did want him as Spurs manager. I was just like, I don't think he'd last a year here, bless him.
No, he wouldn't. I was watching Conor Gallagher because there is rumours that we're going for him in January.
Again,
He didn't play too bad last night, to be fair to Keelan.
It's not that he's a bad player. It's just like we seem obsessed, no matter who the manager is, who the owners are. We're obsessed with that player.
I know, but look, let's get on with it. Let's welcome a few people in. Big up to Giant68 as well. Big up to Wayne Bonner. He says, good evening, folks. Hope everyone is well. I'm pumped for the game on Saturday. Yes, a game you can see live here on THFC till I die. And also the member show's back on Friday as well, guys, at 5. So join me for that. Big up to David Clark. He says, hi from Leicester. Did you know? We've extended our home win rate, 21 games now unbeaten at home in Europe since I think it was the 7-2 defeat to Bayern Munich. We have won 17, drawn 4 and lost none. Big up to Brenny as well. Big up Brenny as well. Big up. He says, evening, gents. Big up to yourselves and all in the chat. Doing the Champions League podcast. Tequila would like to invite you on that as well. If you're around, talk things all Champions League. One show if you'd like to come on, you're more than welcome, bud.
Yeah, let me know in advance and I'll see if I can.
Wayne says VAR can kiss my ass after a good bout of diarrhea. It
Lovely.
seems to work everywhere except in the Premier League. Yeah, exactly. David Clark says VAR is supposed to come to the correct decision, not if it's clear and obvious error. Either way, the Spurs goal should have stood because it was clearly pushed into the West Ham player. Look, I went mental, David, on the watch along on Saturday. I literally lost my head, Tequila. I literally lost my shit. Honest to God, I ranted for about 20 minutes about it.
I missed that. Damn it.
I definitely went on a rant. Big up to David says meetings are taking place in Bahamas regarding the sale of Daniel Levy's shares to someone who will become a replacement minority owner of Enoch and Spurs. Well, we haven't heard anything from our sources. I'm sure Tequila will ask the question, as he always does politely.
Don't know if he can answer right now, can he?
I don't know. I will forward it on to the other source, but I love how I wish you guys could see how Tequila talks to our source. He is so polite. He really is.
That's one way of putting it. Yeah.
Yeah. Big up the Wayne. He says always preferred a good heel to a baby face.
It's easy being a bad guy, Wayne, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah. I'll give Enoch to the end of next season. Give it time to see what they're going to do and where they're going to take the club. Sign Paulunia on a permanent, bring in another CDM and work on Gary. Oh, Gray filling that role. That's true. What will they pay Kane 400? Do you reckon they might give Kane proper wages now?
Under this new stewardship, then yeah, I could see them doing that because you're bringing back our best player over the past 20-25 years.
Yeah,
really. Let's be honest. I mean, people might say Bale and Modric. I mean, maybe you could argue Bale, Modric, maybe not quite, but yeah, they'll pay. Yeah,
well, of course, we did beat Villarreal in our first match in the Champions League. Got off to a winning start. Not the greatest game in the world, to be fair, Tequila. I nearly fell asleep doing the watch along. It was that boring. Second half, we were dreadful, but 3 points is 3 points. If you look at the stats, we had only one shot on target, which was the goal. I think the goal was comical in its way, wasn't it, to be fair?
Yeah, it's one of those that would be appearing on one of those goalkeeper era DVDs, the Christmas DVDs 1 year.
He reminded me of Nana. If I called him Nana Mark too.
I don't know if he's that bad, dude.
He came out for one ball and he flapped at it like he was trying to fly. It was so funny. So look, a win's a win. Thomas Frank's thoughts on the game. He said, I thought it was a big win. Any competition is good to get there 3 points and get a good start. Happy with clean sheets. Extremely good and limited to Villarreal to a little offensively. We struggled to create something against a good team that also defended very well with their 4-4-2 structure. It's a very even game that we edged in the end. I like that our foundations is strong. Obviously, we are building the offensive structure more. There was a spell in the second half where we had the ball away every time we had it. We will raise that level. Thomas Frank, Tequila, is coming he seems to be working very, very quickly on our priorities from last season on the ranch. Look, we are going to talk about the defensive part of it later, but if you look at the midfield as a whole, do you think he's working his magic there as well? Because we seem to have a very solid midfield now, don't we?
Okay, so it's not the kind of midfield I'd want. But I can see that he's made us hard to beat. He's made us very aggressive in midfield. He's made us there's a lot of work rate. There's a lot of tackles being put in, and you need that stuff. I think we lack creativity. I still think we lack creativity in the center of the park. That's me thinking of not as a 10. I know we've got Simmons, and I know Kulu's out, and I know Madison's out, but I'm talking about the team we've got at the minute. I think we lack creativity in the middle of the park. So I would prefer a slightly different combination, but he's making us hard to beat. We're not conceding goals, and if you don't concede goals, then you always got a chance.
Yeah, that's so true. Bergfield did get player of the match. I've been really impressed with Bergfield this season, actually, Tequila, to be fair. when we bought him, Philip Brady was, saying this is the best thing coming. He's going to be the next big player at Tottenham. He played right second half. He was unplayable, undroppable after the West Ham, and again played well last night. Only paid, what was it, 5 or 6 million for him, euro, a couple of seasons ago.
I thought it was 10, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, maybe it was 10, but he's really impressive, isn't he? And he's turning into a very good player.
I think, this is all due respect to Archie Gray. I've got nothing against the kid, and hopefully he ends up being a superstar. But you can see the difference. They're both brought in the same window. We paid 10 million for one, and the expectations on Bergville were much less. Poor Archie Gray, again, not the kid's fault. We spent 40 million on him, so people obviously are going to have higher expectations. Yeah. And I think he's. I'm slightly concerned about Archie Gray because I wonder if that price tag, and it's not the kid's fault, but I wonder if that price tag might come and bite him on the arse. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong. But you can see the difference, can't you? Bergville just does not have that pressure on him. He just doesn't and never has. And he's been able to flourish. It helps that Bergville generally has been played in the same one or two positions, whereas with Gray, again, Dermo, you tell me his best position because I don't know.
Well, look, I think, we are going to get onto him. I think he did ruin one or two players, to be fair. But somebody said it to me the other day, Tequila, that if you look at the likes of Bergville and players like that, because they played so much last season, are in some areas of our team, the depth is a lot better than it was before the start of last season. So the likes of Bergville and that, who got plenty of game time, they've flourished. And under Thomas Frank, who is very good with young players, by the way. You look what he did at Brentford. And you look at how he turned some players into really, really good players, Premier League players.
I think he's just good with players, full stop there, mate.
Yeah, I do. This was the team. This was my player ratings, guys. I give Vicario a 7. I give the back 4 a 7. Jed Spence for me, I thought was a little bit. He wasn't sharp on Tuesday. I have to say, I wasn't impressed with him. Nearly got caught out before we scored the first goal when he was jogging, and the Villarreal player sort of nipped it off him. Bergville, for me, man of the match. I thought he's exceptional. Bentancur 6. I give Kudos, Sar 6. Xavi, I thought played very well as well, 8. And I give Richie 7. Do you agree with them play ratings, Tequila? And it's really players that you would like just to pick out, because Jed Spence got his English debut, right? Do you think his performance on Tuesday was due that he's been through a lot of last week with playing his first game for England? That's emotional in itself. Do you think it just got to him a little bit?
It could do, but I mean, it's the start of the season. If he was coming off the end, if he was coming off and it was near the end of the season, he'd been played rugged, then maybe. But I think no, not at this stage of the season. As far as your ratings, Demo, I'm obviously just more harsh than you. I'd lower everyone's ratings here by about 1, and think you're right. Most of them would be on a 6. I'd probably give, and the highest rating I'd give probably would be a 7, which probably would be to Bergville. So
I'm always a little bit generous than you two.
Like 6. If it's really 5 is average, right? So 6 is like, okay, so you were slightly better than average. 7 means everyone was good, and I don't think that was a good enough performance to say that everyone was good.
No,
they were okay.
Why give the back Romero 7 as well? Because of the way he leads the team as captain, the way he motivates the team, the way he leads by example. And I think Romero's turned out to be a very good captain, by the way.
I think he was always going to be. He was always it was always a little bit baffling to me why Ange had the captain committee of 3 players. It's like, no, just Romero was the obvious choice, even though Sonny's been there longer. We all knew that Sonny wasn't that kind of character, and the closest we had to it was Romero. We all knew that.
David says, and I've got it up here, he says, things haven't changed because to get a cash sum from an Australian company in exchange for future television rights isn't money coming from the Lewis family. It's a payday soon. And we'll have payday now. We'll have to see. He's saying that he agrees with you, Tequila. He would have given him a chance and 2 out of 10. I think that's a bit harsh.
I wouldn't have said 2, but I just think Dermo, and bless him, I'll take a point off everyone personally.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Maybe we should do these together, Tequila, so you can keep me under control.
Yeah, it's fine, mate.
Wait, come back. Put the Tequila be like, I'd be like the dog walking. He'd be like walking me in the park as a dog, and he'd be
Got to keep you on your leash, Dermo, innit?
Yeah. And then of course Udogie came on, as I nicknamed him now Rambo. I'm calling him Rambo now because of the bandana he wears. I thought it was Rambo coming on the pitch the other night.
Why is he rocking the man bandana all of a sudden?
I don't know, but he looked like Rambo. Palhinha came on as well, and Colo got his first debut at Tottenham. Not really fit, so didn't really do much. And Brennan Johnson, I think he should be named as the player that disappears when he comes onto the pitch, because he did fuck all. And he didn't do anything against West Ham on Saturday, and he was poor against Villarreal on Tuesday. He really is not having a good start to the season.
I wonder if Frank doesn't know where to play him.
Isn't that the problem then with... where do you play Brendan Johnson? I don't think Ange particularly knew. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's still probably in the right place a lot of times, and that is a quality that he does have. He doesn't have that much else going for him, in my opinion, but that is still an important quality. But I think you play him in a 2 up front, but very few teams play 2 up front anymore, Dermo. Yeah, they do. Which brings me on to the topic of tonight's show. And I was watching TalkSport the other night. I like watching the clips they put up on YouTube. And Danny Murphy and Simon Jordan and Jim White were talking about Tottenham's win against West Ham. And Danny Murphy said that he thinks that Thomas Frank has fixed Tottenham's defensive issues. To Simon Jordan disagreed with him, went with stats, but Danny Murphy said, look, I'm not doing it off stats. I'm doing this by watching it, by the eye. I'm an ex-player. I know what I'm talking about. And it got me thinking, Tequila. It got me thinking of the first 4 matches of last season to the first 4 matches of this season. And this is Ange's first 4 matches at the start of last season. 1 clean sheet in 4 games, and that was the 4-0 win against Everton. All the rest we conceded. But what was it? 1 win in our first 4. 1-1, drawn 1, and 2 defeats. And you were very early last season sort of pointing out, hang on a minute, this is going to be a long season. I think you were very quick to come out with it, and I think you were right to come out with it. You compare that then to Vicario, only 8 clean sheets in 34 appearances in all competitions last season. Has Danny Murphy got a point by saying that Thomas Frank has changed Tottenham defensively? Because if you look now, and look, only 14 clean sheets out of 60 games for the whole of last season. But you compare that to the start of this season, Tequila, only 1 goal conceded in the first 4 Premier League games and 8 goals scored. I mean, has Danny Murphy got a point?
Yes, but I don't think it's like rocket science to point that out. I think it just says, Dermo, that I don't think Thomas Frank has come in here and what's the word I'm looking for? Waved the magic wand and made us defensively this so much steel. I think he's just come in and played what I would call sensible football, because I honestly believe, and I think I've been proven, people might disagree, that Ange had absolutely no idea about the defensive side of the game. He didn't train for it. He barely practiced it, as far as I'm concerned. If he did, then I don't know what they were doing. Over the last 2 seasons we had with Ange, again, we won't make this whole thing on Ange, but you've asked me the question. I don't think he cared about defending set pieces. I think they put very little time into anything defensive because Ange's motto, rightly or wrongly as far as I'm concerned, was just outscore the opposition. You can get away with that in Scotland because you've got the best team in Scotland. You can't get away with that Premiership. Yeah. So I think to answer your question, like I said, I'm not just knocking at Ange. I mean, I always enjoy it. But so Frank's come in, and I don't think he's waved the magic wand, but I think he's just realised, okay, let's just have a balance here, and this is what you get because there's no way we were the 17th. No, we were. Don't get me wrong, we were the 17th worst team last year because that's where we finished. But on paper, no, we were far from having the 17th worst team on paper, and we do have a good defence. We've got two very, very good centre halves. I think that's been always the case. Porro might not be the best defensively, but I think he's a good right back overall. And Jed Spencer's come in and done well, and Udoggie's done well. We've got a good keeper. It's not the best defence in the league, but it's not the 17th worst defence in the league, which is what we had last season. So he hasn't. I don't think he's waved the magic wand. I think he's just said, you know what? We're just not going to throw every man forward. Our fullbacks are going to play as fullbacks. These things that Ange just, for whatever reason, this is what he believed, just stopped doing. So we've seen in a quick amount of time that actually having a balanced team, right, that keeps its shape and actually has an idea what a shape is, because I'm not even sure we had an idea, or at least the players didn't seem to know what the shape is. Maybe Ange had an idea of what the shape was meant to be, but that never correlated very much on the pitch by what our defensive shape was meant to be. We've got a shape now, and you see the differences.
Yeah. And we've got fullbacks that do fullbacks jobs. We've got. I think we've got the best defense since we had the defense on the Pochettino. As a back five, I think that back five is as good as the back five on the Pochettino under the last year at the Lane when we went unbeaten at home. I really do. And you look at them 4 games there, Tequila.
It's not as good, Mo. It's not as good as Rose, Walker, Vertonghen, and
no. And
mental block.
Jan.
Yeah.
Of
course, it's not. It's not, but it's as close as we've had since. Because I don't think that Spence is as good as Rose was, in my opinion. I don't think Udogie is as good as Rose was. Doesn't mean they can't become it, but I don't think so. And I think Walker is better than Porro. But I like Porro, but I think Carl Walker was one of the best right backs there's been.
Porro and I think Porro and Jed Spence make the back. Look, I like Udogie, but I think Spence is a better defender than Udogie, to be fair. That's just my opinion. I like Jed Spence. But Porro for me, he does do well. But if you look at the fullbacks and the wingers as well, Tequila, they're working well together as well. Where last season they weren't.
Yeah, they've got a shape. They've got a shape. You can tell that they've been doing drills. They've got a shape. They've got a purpose. They have a better idea of where everyone's meant to be. And in quick fashion, you've seen that a little bit of planning and practice can make a difference. So again, I don't know what Ange was doing defensively. I don't think he was doing very much, and I think it's been proven that way because in such a short amount of time, granted, okay, we're not scoring as many goals overall. Okay, some of our games have been pretty drab, but look at the difference in the goals we're conceding. With the exception of Bayern Munich, right, who did kind of hammer us a little bit, with the exception of them, we've been solid for most of the games.
You look at PSG, we gave them a game. I think it was Tynes that took over from us more than anyone. But look, Vicario this season, all competitions, 5 appearances, 4 clean sheets. And it shows, doesn't it, that it rarely shows that. Where is it now? I'm trying to find it now. Is it this one? No, where is it? Last season, only 6 clean sheets in the Premier League, 1 and only 6 in the Europa League, 14 clean sheets in 60 games. It's not good enough, is it? It wasn't good enough. And that's why we ended 17th, because we just couldn't stop conceding goals. And I think and once they prioritized the Europa League, then I think it was whatever happens in the Premier League, it happens. I just don't know. But it also got me thinking, Tequila, as well, about managers of past. And Pochettino being the longest manager in our recent history. I mean, is there a bit of what Frank's doing, what Pochettino did when he joined Tottenham? Do you know what I mean? Is there a bit of, like, as Wayne puts in the chats here, he says Frank's doing what Francis did after he replaced Ozzy, which is true. Fixed the defense first, then worked on the attack. Look, how impressed have you been with our back five this season? How well organized they are? And I think you should give credit to Romero, because I think he's marshalling that defense very effectively as captain. And I think Thomas Frank should take an awful lot of credit for actually realizing, okay, I'm going to make Romero captain. I'm going to give him the responsibility of leading this team. And very much, we've all been crying out, haven't we? We want a leader. We want somebody that will battle, that will put the foot in. He's very much an old school footballer, isn't he? Very much of the ilk of probably players have gone by. But do you think that Romero is leading by example, or what's his biggest thing do you think he's brought to Tottenham this season? Do you think he's more settled, or do you think he committed to Thomas Frank, or what do you reckon changed it for him? Because there was something going to Atletico Madrid, wasn't there? What do you think changed it for him?
I think maybe if he could have gone, I still think he would have. If he could have gone, keyword is could have. But once he realised that he couldn't go, that Madrid weren't going to offer, pay his transfer fee, I think that he's kind of like, okay, so he had to kind of like accept that he was stuck at Spurs. I know it doesn't sound good, but this is what I think. I know nobody wants to think of that, but I think that coincides with Thomas Frank coming in. And I mean, apparently, Romero, when Andrew was sacked, Romero wrote this heartfelt message. So I struggle with this because Romero couldn't have been, I just don't see how he could have been happy with his defensive displays under Postecoglou. Because whether he likes it or not, they were shipping so many goals. He must have felt at least a bit responsible for that. Even though I don't actually blame Romero that much, I blame the shape of the team and the gaps that the team left because they threw so many forward. It was nearly impossible to keep clean sheets. But I just find I'm trying to get my head around where Romero stands because I don't really understand why he was so appreciative as Ange. I know that Ange won as a cup, and maybe that was enough. Maybe that was all. That's all Romero. That's all Romero needed. He won something domestically because you got to remember that yes, he's won the World Cup, but on club football level, unless I'm wrong, and he won something with Atalanta, which I don't think he did, but I could be wrong. I'm not that up on Syria, on their cups. Then that's his first domestic trophy of his career. So maybe he was just really grateful. But I can't imagine. He must privately, he might come out and say it, he must be seeing the massive differences between how they are defending as a team, him included, compared to this year under this manager from last manager. So I think that he has probably kind of been galvanized by that and realizing that, hold on a second, this manager is putting a big emphasis on defense, and like our prime manager, and I've been given the role. Also, he's probably got a decent sized ego because most of the best players have got egos.
Yeah.
I wonder how much he liked sharing the captaincy with Maddison and Sonny privately. He's not going to come out and say anything. And he's probably not going to come out and say anything to Son and Maddison. But I wonder if privately you got him into a room and there's no cameras or journalists. If you said to him, "Yeah, mate, it should have been me all along," because I got a much more of a kind of character than Maddison does, bless him, and Son does. And also, Maddison's only bloody just joined the club, right? So why is he getting the same treatment as me? His ego is probably saying to him, "Nah, mate, it should have been me all along." And egos make people do the impressive things, though, man. That's what I'm going to say, bro.
It does. Look, it got me thinking as well. So I sort of went through the sort of archives of Tottenham, and I started with Pochettino. And if you look at the clean sheets in his time at Tottenham, the best years were 26-17, 17-18, or 2016-17, 17 clean sheets in 38 games in the Premier League. but every season he went into double figures with clean sheets. And then that got me thinking again, what about our previous managers after Pochettino? So let me put that there, and let me put this up here so I can read it. So Mourinho had 15 clean sheets in 58 matches. Conte had 22 clean sheets in 56 matches. Nuno only 3 clean sheets in 10 matches. Postecoglou in 76 matches, only 13 clean sheets, Tequila.
Yep.
The worst of all the managers since Pochettino. And Thomas Frank, 3 clean sheets in 4 matches. And then that got me thinking again about Bill Nick. The year we won the league, we got 11 clean sheets to win the league. I would love to know how many clean sheets Liverpool got last season when they won the Premier League. And compare that. And don't forget, they were playing 42 matches back in the day, not 38. So, you know, have Tottenham always had this sort of Tottenham have had this sort of thing of, we're really not a team that's going to keep clean sheets, are we? To be fair.
Well, no, the Tottenham way, the quote unquote Tottenham way, has always been generally about attacking football. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that I wanted to become ultra defensive, because we saw ultra defensive under Conte, and let's be honest,
yeah, it was
none of us really enjoyed watching it.
No,
and I do wonder if maybe because of our lack of, in my opinion, even though I think that with Simmons we've got a couple of creative options on the flanks, and we've got an okay number 10 when Madison comes back. We do have some creativity there, but I still think our actual strikers are lacking.
Yeah.
So I think that maybe, again, privately, Frank might realize that, and maybe he's realized, at least for this season, that our best areas of our team is most likely our defense. So that is what we're going to focus on first. Do I think we're going to get a lot of clean sheets? Yeah, I do. But I also don't know how many goals we're going to get.
But clean sheet sort of gains you points, doesn't it? It gains you so many points.
It wins you leagues. Defense wins you leagues. That's what they've always said.
Yeah, it does, and that's what.
But will the fans be happy though, Dermo? We're okay right now because we had such a bad season last season domestically that we might put up with it. I just wonder how long before you start getting. And I'm not saying that I won't. I know that everyone could be guilty of this, you as well. How many games where you're bored out of your brain, like we both more or less admitted we were the last game, right? How many of them do you go through before you say, okay, can we play? Can we score some goals, please? Can we, you know what I mean? I just wonder how patient the Spurs fan base will be if we end up being really strong defensively, but we're not that fun to watch. Would we put up with it for a year? Maybe, but how much longer after that? 1 season?
Yeah,
maybe?
but if you're winning cups, then you will put up with it, won't you? To be fair, I know what you're saying.
But what if we finish? I said 9th or 8th, didn't I? I think I said 8th after we got Simmons. So let's say we finish 8th. My prediction, right? 8th, and we don't play particularly good football to watch. Are people okay with that? I don't know if they are.
I think after last season, I think we need a season of.
I agree.
Being
I think this season might be a pass. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think we need a season of being boring and then take it from there. So that got me thinking as well of clean sheets over Tottenham's history. And now I got one of these off an AI. So some of them might be a bit out, especially with Bill Nick and probably David Pleat as well, because back in the day, the stats for these are not really well. You can't find them very easily. So they may be a bit out by 1 or 2. But David Pleat in 86-87, 19 clean sheets. Bill Nick in 70-71, 19 clean sheets. Pochettino in 16-17, 17 clean sheets. Pochettino again, 17-18, 16 clean sheets. And Bill Nick, 60-61, 11 clean sheets. I mean, you look at some of these managers, apart from Bill Nick, who was very successful, David Pleat got us to a cup final, finished third in the league, and lost to Arsenal in the League Cup semi-final in '87. We had a great team. We had Waddle and Hoddle in that team. How we didn't win the trophy, I do not know. Clive Allen scored 49 goals. You look at Pochettino. If Pochettino had more of an experience, like a Thomas Frank next to him, do you think Tottenham would have got over the line? Because if you look at that, 16, 17 clean sheets. Now, I don't know how many clean sheets Liverpool got last season to win the Premier League, but I'm sure if you look over the years, it's around that figure, 17, 18 clean sheets. Do you feel that if he had a Thomas Frank next to him, we might have got over the line?
No, I don't actually. I think Thomas Franks is in a very similar part of his career now to where Pochettino took over. And I think the criticisms that you can rightfully label at the time and also afterwards is that he was unable to win the big one, so to speak, right? Get us past the finishing line, like you said before. And Frank, it does remain to be seen, but as of yet, you can't say that about him either. So it's difficult for me to say to you, if Frank was next to him, he would have won. No, because I think that it's Frank is unproven at the moment in time. Pochettino, it looks like, doesn't have that in him. As much as I like him, it looks like that he doesn't have that in him. I don't know if Frank does.
What you mean?
So I can't. So it's really impossible to answer. I don't know. Frank's never been. Thing is that Frank's never been in that position to win something. He can manage. When the pressure's really on, I don't think he's ever been in a really, really, really high pressure situation. So he hasn't been tested in that environment yet. Hopefully he gets us to a final of some sort, or maybe something as much as it's the last day of the Premiership and we need to win to get fourth, like in the old days under Redknapp, stuff like that. We'll have to see how he is in those kind of environments. I'm curious to see. Hopefully that we will get an opportunity. It might not be this season, but hopefully we'll get an opportunity to see him in one of those pressure cooker type situations, just to see does he keep his cool? Don't know.
Yeah, what's impressed me about Thomas Frank as well, compared to last season, his adaptability during games. I mean, Frank's philosophy of prioritizing the adaptability over rigid systems, and your systems was too rigid. You look at Nottingham Forest against Swansea last night, Tequila, 2-0 up, and they still lose 3-2. We are going to reach out to the Forest lads we got on before during the. We're going
to try and help the poor lad out because he needs therapy because now he's got Ange as his manager. Yeah, come at me.
I went into a Nottingham Forest YouTube chat and they were bitching about it, and I just put in the chat, it's just who we are, mate. Look, he did win us a cup, and he is our third manager in our history to win the European trophy. So he goes down in the club's history as not a legend, but as a successful.
You'd have to ask the Forest fan. I forget the gentleman's name. You'd have to ask him how he would feel if they won a cup this season. And to be honest, Forest might take finishing 17th because obviously they were out of the Premiership for such a long time. Yeah. They might take that actually. It's harder for us to take that because we're not used to being in 17th position. But Forest, considering their last 20 or so seasons of where they've been, they might just say, hey, as long as we're still in the Premiership and we've won a cup, they might bite your hand off for it.
Yeah. With Thomas Frank's adaptability, Tequila, during games, that's refreshing, isn't it? It's something different that we haven't experienced in a long time. And how many times were we shouting last season to Ange, just change it, do something different, adapt, substitutions, not making them at the right time. Thomas Frank seems to make the subs at the right time. We know we're building a squad. We know we're going to need more players, but look, we started against PSG 3-5-2. Ran them close. Everyone expected us to play a 3-5-2 away to Man City, and we played a 4-2-3-1. Absolutely played Man City off the park. But he's always adapted. He's always adapting during the game, isn't he? Do you think he works from every sort of 10 minutes of the game? Right, 5 minutes. This is going to happen. 5 minutes later, right, I need to tweak it a little bit. He's always writing something down, isn't he? He's always got his pen and paper. But it's great to see as a manager, isn't it? For me, it is.
Yeah, I think Frank's is what's known as a detail freak, right? So he probably has a lot of scenarios in his head. He probably thinks to himself, whether or not he writes all this down, we don't know. But he probably thinks to himself, okay, so if we're leading at half time, then my plan's going to be that such and such. If we're drawing at half time, such and such. If we're losing at half time, such and such. He's probably put all those kind of possibilities into his head. And obviously he comes across as quite a smart man. And I think he's proven at Brentford for sure that he can turn stuff around more than most managers. I'm not going to say every manager, because there are other managers who have that skill set as well. But it's just we've come from such a rigid person. We couldn't have gone so much more in the opposite direction. It's like it's like we've gone from maybe one of the most rigid managers we've ever seen to one of the most flexible we've had for a long time.
Yeah.
It's the two different extremes, Dermot. That's why it's so kind of like, because it's such extremes. We've jumped from one extreme to the other.
And do you feel so with Daniel Levy leaving that I found that Thomas Frank in the press conference after Levy left, I don't know if I said it to you, but he looked happier. He looked more relaxed. And do you think Levy also was the problem with these managers? Because look how many managers he sacked. And do you know what I mean? Did Thomas Frank look more happier before the press conference, before the West Ham game? He looked happier, didn't he? To me, watching it, I thought he looked happier.
I don't know. It depends. It depends if he's had any conversations with the new people taking over. If privately they've said to him, yeah, just keep us afloat until January, we'll give you a little bit of a bump, and then we'll go all in next summer. If they've turned around and said that to him, then I'd be happy too. Also, he's obviously no mug. He obviously realizes that our history with managers. I think he was asked this question and he kind of sidestepped it, which is the smart thing to do at this point in his career. When he first came in, about the amount of managers we go through and stuff like that. So I imagine that he knew Levy was generally pretty trigger happy, even though he wasn't trigger happy with Ange, funny enough. But of Ange being the exception to the rule, Levy's trigger happy. So he probably thinks that maybe with Levy out of the way, he's going to get a longer tenure. I'd be happy.
Yeah, that's true. Big up to Jared. He says Ray Clements has the most clean sheets of any keeper in the history of the league. He also asked the question. I'm going to start on that one as well. Dermo, Frank wins the European Cup, wins Champions League, and finished 16th. Should he be sacked? Hell no.
The Champions, right? So you mean the Champions League?
Yeah.
Then no, not the Champions League.
No. Hell no. And then he asks, were the last 5 managers deserved to be sacked by Levy Derma? Right, let's go through them. Pochettino. No,
not to me.
Needed more time. Should have got more time. I think he wasn't backed. I think at that time the warning bells should have been ringing about the stadium and what was to come and what was going to be happening. What was to come over the next 5 years, 6 years, since the stadium's been here. So no, I think Pochettino does. I think he had so much credit in the bank. He should have been given more time. But look, that's it. He saw Levy got hard on and saw Levy and thought, I want my baby in. And he said, don't leave my baby Mourinho in the corner. So there we go.
He was he was mesmerised by Mourinho being available. I wonder if Mourinho wouldn't have been available at the time had Levy pulled the trigger. I'm not sure he would have.
But don't forget, Tequila, a lot of fans at that point were calling for Pochettino's head, by the way.
I wasn't one of them, but yes,
I wasn't one of them either.
Yes, there were
I
some,
don't think was I YouTubing then?
Probably not back then. That was 2018 or something, wasn't it? 2019. Yeah.
Well, the channel's 4 years old, so
no, I don't think
21 we started. 21, 22, 23, 24, 20. No, 2020. So 2019, 2020 we started. So no.
You might have just started just after he left.
Just after Pochettino left. Mourinho. Look, this is good. I think Mourinho one is the biggest. It's going to be the biggest mystery of all. What happened? So just to wind people's memories back, he was sacked 6 days before a cup final. But what happened before them 6 days was we had the start of the Super League. And Tottenham were in the Super League. Now, there's a lot of rumours going around Tequila that Mourinho refused to bring the players out onto training because he didn't want Tottenham to be involved in the Super League. B, there was a big bust up between him and Levy. C, there was a massive payout that Levy had to pay Mourinho if he won the cup. And there's another rumour going around that his contract, if he won the cup, his contract would have had to be extended. So to this day, I don't think we'll ever know one way or the other. The conspiracy theories are out there. Out of them 5 options, which one do you think fits best? I still think I would like to think it's the Super League, and he refused to bring the players out. He refused to take them training out of protest with the Super League. I hope that's the reason, but I have a funny feeling it could be all down to money to Daniel Levy, and he didn't want to pay out on a cup bonus to the manager. But that's just my opinion. But I'm hoping it's the first one, not the second one.
I think it was a combination of a couple of things that probably the timing of it, I think, probably was the Super League, but I don't think that was the root cause of it. I think that was kind of the explanation mark on other things. I think that Mourinho is his own man. I do like him. I know he annoys a lot of people. I know his football's not the best. I do like him as how he comes across.
He's a winner, Tequila. He's a winner,
and he really is. And I think that he probably saw what Levy was doing, in my opinion. Saw probably what Levy was about. Realized he probably was never going to get what he thought he was going to get. Maybe thought to himself, I've been sold up the river a little bit. I've been promised stuff I'm not going to get. Why can't I buy the defender, Skriniar, that he wanted? Why are you giving me Joe Rodon? I'm sure he thought that in his back of his mind. Probably realizing that he was also damaging his legacy. You got to remember that up to that point, he was a winner everywhere. So he probably thought that because he's got a very healthy ego. We all know that.
Yeah.
He probably thought to himself, you're making me look bad now because you're not giving me the tools to win here. And now my reputation is going to be damaged. And that's probably why he put so much into the Carling Cup. He knew he wasn't going to win the league with this team, but he still could keep that record of his own personal record of I win everywhere I go by winning the Carling Cup. Levy probably realized what he was dealing with, and these two clashed. Levy, the last straw probably was the stuff with the Super League. I have no proof of this. This is just me hypothetically.
Yeah.
And that was the straw that broke the camel's back. But that wasn't the root cause of it. That was just the last thing. Their relationship deteriorated long before that. But that was the final thing.
I think the players had something to do with it as well.
There's rumours of that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. And also that brings on to Nuno, who I think was the wrong appointment at the wrong time for Tottenham, to be fair. We all know after the Manchester United game, he gets a sack. Ben Davies apparently went to Daniel Levy. We cannot work with this manager, which I think if a player has the goal to go up to a chairman and say sack the manager, the chairman should have told the player to fuck off and sod off. Like go and do what you're supposed to do. It's a bit like Bruno Fernandes going to Jim Ratcliffe and saying, I want Amaron out of here. Jim Ratcliffe's going to tell Bruno Fernandes, piss off, go and do your job.
Exactly. Yep.
But do you think Nuno's a good manager, isn't he? To be fair, so I think it was the wrong job, wrong time for Nuno. To be fair, and I don't call him a garden gnome, but I've gained to have a lot of respect for him for what he did at Forest, by the way. And I think he was harshly treated at Nottingham Forest. Absolutely ridiculous decision.
The question, the way Gerald has phrased it, is the key word there is deserved. I don't think Nuno deserved to be sacked, but I don't think he deserved to be hired. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I do.
But I don't think he deserved to be sacked after 6 weeks, 7 weeks in charge,
Yeah.
however long it was. He didn't deserve that. No manager should only get 7 weeks in a job.
What are you
Demo.
giggling at?
Well, at
What are
Com.
you- I know. Big up to your column. He's gifted 5 memberships out. Big
Have you
up
seen
to
who
your
it's
column.
gone to? Who's it gone to?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it has
Okay.
gone to Jessica. Big up to you, Jessica. Thank column. Greg Selnet. Big up to you, Greg. Also, thank column as well. Paige LUFC. Man United fans be gifted. Big up. Thank column. You
Com will be happy about that. Man United fans. got it.
Andy Ing 135 has been gifted the membership. Big up to thank column for that. And also Ian Ferguson. Big up to you, Ian in America, has been gifted a membership. So, Colin, thank you so much. I do you know what? I'm just so grateful when people do this. Thank you so much. It means a lot to us, Colin. Anything you want to say? And listen, we hope you're all right, bud. Me and Dakita are here for you, bud, if you need us.
Everyone just like you had to do for Dermo's PC a couple of weeks ago. Everyone press F in the chat for Com's new PC that is broken.
Yeah. Hang on. I need to put it in. There you go. I've put it in now. Put F in.
There you go.
Yeah.
Com's brand new PC which broke on him already, bless him.
I know. It's the Man United curse, isn't it? Manchester United curse. It did one Manchester United game, and he said, "Right, I'm not doing anymore."
The computers against the Glazers as well. Com was the computer built by Gary Neville? Just checking.
Probably.
Did Gary Neville make your computer, Com?
You shouldn't have. He actually said, not even had it a week. Oh God, I bet you're going ballistic at them, man.
Yeah.
But no, thank you so much, Tequila, for gifting 5 memberships.
It wasn't me, mate. It was Com. I'll take the credit if you want, but it was Com who did it.
No, it was Colin. Yeah, I know it was Colin. Thank you. I'm tired. I've been looking after a puppy. It has me up at 6:30 every morning. And believe me, that dog does not sleep. The only time it sleeps for about 4 hours in the evening, and that's it. It's awake for the rest of it. And it's taken an attachment to me. Anyway, so look, we had Nuno. Conte came in. Conte got himself sacked, really, didn't he?
He wanted
to be fair.
He wanted to get sacked. That's why he wanted to get sacked.
Do you think what he said was right, wasn't it? To be fair, it's been proven right about Daniel Levy. I
love Conte. I do. I'm sorry. I love the fact that he had the balls to do it, Dermo. Yeah, I didn't like his football. His football bored the pants off me.
But he had the balls to throw them under the bus.
And it was great to watch, even though I knew that it was going to be bad news. We all knew that he wouldn't be able to stay after it. But I remember watching it live, probably like you did, Dermo, and just thinking, this man is completely destroying the owners. It's going to cost him his job. Where do we go from here? I have no idea. But in that moment, I was like, go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Keep it. Keep saying it. He was speaking for a lot of the fans, Dermo.
He was.
He
really was. I just remember watching that rant at the time, Tequila, and going, thinking, Jesus Christ, please keep going. And it was just truth bomb after truth bomb after truth.
I don't think the journalists could kind of believe it either. They were just like, oh my God, we're going to make so much money on the papers tomorrow.
No, the column was asked, was it, he said, no, I was sent it by someone who signed it ETH. Well, there you go.
Ten Hag.
Ten Hag. But look, we're finished the show as we started, Tequila. Thomas Frank. I'm not even talking about Ange because we all know what happened to Ange. And that we're going to go through there. But any Forest fans watching, we send our sympathy for you at this sad time.
In defense,
we're not laughing.
He's not bad in the cups. He's not bad in the cups. He got to the semi-finals and lost to Liverpool. Liverpool beat everyone, right? So we lost to Liverpool, and then he won Europa League. Granted, it was a terrible game, and we weren't particularly that impressive, but he still won it nonetheless. So he might get you. He might get you a cup. I mean, they just went out, didn't they? They just went out the Carling Cup, so it won't be that one. Yeah. That leaves 2.
Yeah. Do you think they might get 6 points off the Manchester clubs?
Probably not.
Probably.
Probably not. No,
No.
you never know. But
But guys, look, we end it. Thomas Frank. I mean, there's one question here. I want to end up on Tequila, right? And it is early results and building foundations. Early results have been good. He is building the foundations for the future. But what does one question I would have for you and for the chat as well, and that for myself? What does Champ Thomas Frank need more in January and next summer? So if you could pick 3 positions where you think Thomas Frank really needs players in January and the summer, where would it be? I would go for a striker, a left winger, and probably a wing back for me.
I think we need a proper striker. I mean, a proper striker who's a striker who holds the line. A better version of Solanke, with all due respect, right? But a proper striker who will get you 20 goals. I mean, every team wants that, right? But that's where I think you spunk most of your money on. If we are going to spend big next summer, that's where I want to see most of our money go. I think left wing as well. I think it's obvious, even the club knows that we need somebody on the left wing. And I think people might disagree with me. I think we need a deeper lying playmaker who's a really good passer of the ball. I'm talking to somebody like a Michael Carrick. I'm not going to say Pirlo because I realise that there's not many Pirlos around. I'll give you a Carrick is a good example of someone who was very good, maybe not world class, but very good, who played for us. I'm talking someone like that. I'm talking maybe if people remember Tom Huddlestone. Yes, he had no movement, but the boy could pass. I think we're missing someone in the middle of the park who can spray the ball around.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah. No, I agree. But Tequila, that's it. That is the show tonight. Has Frank fixed Spurs' defensive issues? I think we sort of agree he has, but I don't think there was much fixing to begin with because it
didn't require a rocket science to doing it. It just required someone to come in, just use a little bit of common sense. That's what I think.
Yeah, that's all it needed. But look, I would recommend everyone to watch TalkSport in the morning at 10 with Simon Jordan, Jim White. I mean, you already are a big fan of Simon Jordan, aren't you, Tequila? So you sort of
I like people who speak their minds and they don't care what people say about them. I do respect the man.
Yeah, I would love to get him on the channel. I really would.
I do respect him, bro. I do.
Yeah, well, maybe there's a bit of TalkSport with us, me, bit Jim White, and you, Simon Jordan. And
I'm more than happy to be Simon Jordan, and you are more than happy, I think, to be Jim White.
I am actually. I'm not got some hair color as him as well.
You do,
right?
yeah. You do, yeah.
Just need to work on my Scottish accent. Poor old James. I don't know who James was. We still got to think who.
Danny Murphy. Don't tell him.
Murphy,
Don't tell him I called him Danny Murphy.
No, he's probably watching this, chucking teddy bears or something at the screen at the moment.
Well, what are the options? He can be Danny Murphy. He can be Martin. He can be Martin Keown.
I wouldn't even do that to him.
He can be Gabby Abagnor, how you pronounce it, or you can be Darren. Or you can be Darren Bent. Out of those 4, who would you choose?
The first option.
Exactly. So there we are.
How could you mention them 3 players, Tequila? On that bombshell, thank you all for watching. Yes, I know we've been a bit scarce with content over the international break as well, so I do apologize about that. We are going to come back with more stuff now, bigger and better, with new members. We're going to start a members show, call-in show in the next couple of weeks. So, guys, if you are members, come on, have your say. Join me or Tequila or me or James or Tequila, whoever, and join us for a conversation all about Spurs. If you're a member, also do email us and we'll get you on and talk to you about why you became a Spurs fan, what made you become a Spurs fan. So Wayne Bonner, we're looking at you, Carl Simpson, Greg, we look getting do. I will interview Tequila as well. Tequila and James will interview me about how I become a Spurs fan and maybe give you a little bit more in behind the scenes look as well with all the member shows we've got coming up. We've got a lot of stuff coming up as well. There's members videos and everything. And match day is going to be a bit more streamlined with before the whistle, watch along, final score, and also instant match thoughts on the game. Where after the game, I'll be doing a very quick video, or me or James or whoever we're doing the watch alongs. We'll be doing a very quick video after the game to give our instant thoughts on it, and then final score will be the next day as the new post-match show. So look, guys, we've got a lot coming up. We're looking to gain up there. I think we're only 10 away now from 2,200. So let's get there before the game on Saturday. Come on, 10 of you. Surely you can share it to 10 people. Get your mum, your dad, your dog. But we really want to get the 3K before the end of the season. Tequila, I know you don't only do this. You run a very, very brilliant gaming channel as well called The Play Pouch. So tell people what you got coming up there soon, sir.
We just finished our Gears of War Reloaded, which was the new remake of Gears of War. When you played that was on the channel last week. And one of my friends is going to be doing Metal Gear Solid 3, the remake of that's just come out. If people are interested. Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to be played, and I'm still working on what I'm going to do next. I'm not sure, Dermo. Maybe some FIFA. Maybe some FIFA.
Yeah, because FIFA 26, the early release is out tomorrow at midnight or tonight at midnight, I think.
Is it out already? You'll see. The version I'm getting is not out till the 30th. Are you getting it 12 days early? Wow.
Yeah, you can get it 7 days early.
7? Oh, okay.
Yeah, you got to pay £100 for it.
Oh, I'm good.
Yeah, so am I. I'm actually waiting for it to come on the free trial.
Yeah.
Do it that way. But big up to you. So yeah, guys, if you remember, do email us, get in touch, and we'll get you on, and we'll do your why you became a Spurs fan. But look, that's it. We are back on, what day is it tomorrow?
Friday.
So tomorrow is Friday. I'm live at 4 with a member show with a build up for the game on Saturday, and then Saturday you got all your build up. And do join me. I think I'm on We Are Tottenham TV this Saturday, so do join me over there.
Good luck,
yeah,
Dermo.
I'm looking forward to that.
Everyone get over there and support Dermo. That's quite a big jump to. They're very obviously a very well known channel. So
yeah,
big jump.
But also we are here with Before the Whistle, and of course we're here with the watch along, and of course instant match reactions. And I may do final score on Saturday, and then do the post match on Sunday or Monday. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Tequila, I really love doing shows with you. You and me bounce off each other really well. And I just enjoy talking football with you, because you do talk an awful lot of sense. And yeah, just good. So thank you so much indeed.
No worries, mate.
Do you want to take us out as you always do?
Well, there might be some extra spice on this one, considering the last couple of results for the man, but I can't help it, can I? It's just who we are, mate.
Good night.
Eyes on the